Swim, bike, run, keeping it real with Garrick, Lowen, Jackson, Laundry, and Nicholas Chase. Plus everyone's favorite host, Lisa Becker-Rice. This is the Real Triathlon Podcast. Training, racing, no filter, all hard.
Welcome back to the fastest hour in triathlon, the Real Triathlon Podcast. Joined here with Jackson Laundry, and I believe it's Nicholas Chase, but it might just be every other average douchebag sitting there with his glasses and his full button up.
Yeah, I'll promote that. Whatever it is, I'll promote it.
Good to be back, boys.
Lisa?
Hey, it's the original three. It's been a while since we've had an original three episode. We actually kicked Lisa off because she gets injured too much, and we said you got to focus on your recovery and your training more. So,
And the ratings tanked.
probably the opposite of true, but I'm sure she'll be back next week.
She's doing some physical therapy type thing, I think.
Trying to get back to running.
We're
So
all
what do we
trying
got
to
today,
get back.
boys? Garrick, you've been away for a while. What's going on? Where were you? Did you go
was away for a
on
week.
a juice cleanse? Where'd you go?
I was away for a week. Actually, I was only away for a couple days, but last week was quite hectic. I was at the Academy of Prosthetists and Orthotists meeting is what they call it, but it's actually just a massive conference that they have. So I was in Nashville staying at this crazy hotel. It's called the Gaylord Opry Center Resort or something like that. And it was like there was like three separate like villages within the hotel that was like all in like a greenhouse, and they had like you could take boat rides and stuff. It was an insane resort.
Sounds like Disney.
Yeah, it was kind of like Disney, but for Nashville. But yeah, quick in, quick out for that.
some
Those
networking
conferences are
done?
nuts. Yeah, I don't really need the network, but you meet with like vendors and stuff, but you got to get your continuing ed credits, right? So you go there, you do just like, you're basically in sessions all day. And then, you got to hit you're in Nashville, so you got to go down to Lower Broadway, and it's just like,
I heard Nashville
7 a.m.
sucks though.
yeah, it's, it depends how you look at it. So we were there during the week, and we went to Lower Broadway on a Wednesday, and I actually enjoyed it. So all the bars there, it's very small. Like, it's not any bigger than, it's actually probably smaller than downtown Detroit's area, like Woodward.
That's super small.
But yeah, but it's full of bars, and there's live music at all the bars. So you kind of just like bar hop and like listen to music and stuff. We went to a couple, I don't remember a lot of the names, but we found somewhere to sit at Aldean's, and there was just these two guys, man. They were up on stage, and all they did, their whole thing was they would take requests, and they would figure out how to play the song, and then they'd play it. And like, you got to be so talented to do that. They would play it and sing it, and they were taking like live requests. We put a request in, they did it. I don't remember what song Christian put out, but
Sounds like AI.
yeah, it's crazy. They like he has his phone there, and I think the chords come up on his phone, and then like the words to the song. But he'll take 2 minutes and just like get the chords down in front of everyone, like literally 2 minutes, maybe a minute, and then he just plays the song, and he plays most of the song, and he just knew like crazy range from Johnny Cash to Three Doors Down, like just insane.
That's pretty sick.
Why didn't
yeah.
you
Was
ask him
it,
to sing our opening song?
Yeah, that'd be
The Real
sweet.
Triathlon Podcast song.
Yeah, $5.
That'd
The
be sick.
podcast.
How much training happened that week?
Nothing. I made a mistake. This is probably something we can talk about. As a coach, actually, when I was doing this, I knew I was making a mistake. So the weekend before leaving for the conference, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to smash a big weekend of training, basically Friday to Monday. And because I know it's going to be poor training when I'm down there. It's like 3 days, and I'm not going to be able to train really. And I think I just buried myself. And then I went to the conference, and then obviously you're up. You start the conference at like 7:30, and then you're out till 1 a.m. and you just repeat that 3 times.
Wait, why are you out till 1 a.m.?
Because you're, like Jack said, you're networking and
I thought
stuff
you were
like
there
that.
to learn.
Well, you are learning, and then you go out with, like vendors take you out and stuff like that.
Oh, it's just like a big party, and everyone tells their wives they're going to this conference, but secretly they're just having a good old time.
Yeah, it's not as much of a party as you would think, but there is alcohol involved, and they have like on the floor there's like a floor set up with all the vendors there, and the vendors have like their own bars and stuff, and you like walk around and they give you alcohol. And, yeah,
Prostitutes. Prostitutes.
That starts at like 7. Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, so I just buried myself in training, and then I went up to the conference. You shake hundreds of hands, talk to people. Then I got sick.
And you got sick.
All I managed during that was like, I woke up early the one day, did like a 30-minute run, and then I got home and I was so sick. I went to work on Friday, and then I was trashed. I got through some training on Saturday. Sunday, obviously, stuff happened in the morning that we don't need to talk about. And
diarrhea?
No, just my country's falling apart, and then
hockey department.
Just
the
depressed
Olympics
and sad, So
do you not know what happened in the hockey?
What happened?
We don't have to talk about it.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about it.
Well, Garrick, this is part of life. I mean, we all lose at hockey sometimes, and sometimes hockey is life, and sometimes hockey is hockey. So it just depends on which hockey you're losing at.
Yeah, you know what? You're not wrong. Like it can't be a rivalry if one team wins every single time.
Yeah, true.
Like,
we had
you
to
gotta
go
lose
on.
it at
Here you
least
go.
once. It happened once in 46 years. Okay, it happened. That's it. It happened.
Okay. So this is, I think, the year of the most people being sick outside of COVID that I've experienced since COVID. Like everyone.
I think more than COVID.
Savage.
Around people I know, like COVID, everyone was so worried about getting sick that they just didn't do anything and didn't get sick that much. And then now, I mean, there was COVID, obviously, but nobody got like colds or flus that year.
Because it was all COVID. That's why.
Yeah. And now this year it's been insane. Like everyone's like, I've been sick 3 times. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. People are like, yeah, I got a flu, then I got COVID, then I got West Nile, then I got norovirus, then I had diarrhea for no reason. Like it was just like nonstop throwing it on top.
So anyways, are you getting back into some easy, or you've pretty much just been chilling?
Yeah, I did some pickups today on the run. I did some like moderate work in the pool. Yesterday I did it just all aerobic. I think I did like 4 hours aerobic work between the swim, bike, and run. It's like, it's mostly, hey, I feel like you guys we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Like it's mostly just like a head cold. It's a little bit upper respiratory. And I discovered, so I've never taken like Tylenol or acetaminophen while sick.
You're pure. You're pure.
Dude, yeah, I took it today at lunch because I was like, oh, this is just being a long day. And I had like just an aching headache and a sore throat and stuff. And I took it and I was like, oh, I feel like I'm back to normal. This seems like a cheat code. Like you don't have to like suffer. I feel like you need to go through the suffering of being sick so that you know not to get sick again. But if you
can't have any kids now, though. No more kids.
Take Tylenol.
You've got your first kid that you got baking right now is pure. You can't taint the match.
Yep. So Garrick's on the way back, and all right, that's good. And you're
I
gonna
had an
race
MRI.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
Yeah, did you get the results?
Today I had an MRI. It was the first time that I've ever really had to pay for an MRI that I was like, I'm just going to get one. So this is my first in my career, aside from the one that clearly I needed for a hip fracture. And guess what? It was a total waste of money. It didn't even need to get it done, but it's been bothering me long enough to where I felt like if I do have something that is a light tear in my hip flexor or something else going on there, it's probably worth getting checked out. So anyways, I paid for I made the appointment Sunday for this Tuesday, $400. You just show up. They'll give you an MRI wherever you want it. They'll have a radiologist read it, and then they'll give you their synopsis based off of your stuff. And basically they're like, well, your left hip looks like it had a stress reaction. I was like, well, yeah, no shit. That was broken. I'm like, well, the right hip looks like it has a little bit of tissue degeneration and there's some fluid in the hip, but that's it. So
Sounds like every triathlete's hip that on average.
But it sucks. Like today I ran 90 minutes, or I ran just about 10 miles. Super easy today. I didn't feel it at all. But the other day I felt it and I couldn't even take 3 steps without the pain. So it's just such a random inflammatory response to something in the hip flexor. But it's gotten like 2% better. I've talked about it every freaking show. But at least now we know it's not a big deal. It's just a little pain in the ass deal.
Do you ever wonder if, like, when something like that is kind of chronic, if there's just like a totally different approach needed of like some different type of a therapist that's just going to be like, oh, try these different type of movement activations to just get your body into like a different rhythm, and it'll make, like, I don't know if this is right or not, but
what's I've been doing? I've been doing exactly that. I've had Sammy from camp he looked at my, like, that 3D skeleton of me running with that guy put all those 30 sensors on me. He looked at that. We saw my hip imbalances, which I do have a hip imbalance on my right side anyways. And he gave me all these workouts, and I've just been working through them. But they made me really sore. And also, like, I can pinpoint sometimes where the hip flexor actually is injured. But sometimes it's just like even transfers to like the lower back and the glute medius. So it's just like the whole capsule on the right side of my body. So Sammy's been doing a great job. So you're absolutely right. And I think that is making it better.
Yeah. And it might be, like you said, 2% a week.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden in 5 or 6 or 7 weeks, it's getting pretty good.
And that's when Oceanside is. So we're going to be fine.
Yep. Yeah. Well, other than that, training, how's it been going? Have you been feeling? I know you've been a little trying to get your high end going on the bike. Had an okay workout this week. Progress, little progress, no progress?
Yeah, progress. I think the biggest problem today, which is why I'm looking so awesome right now, is because I just have such low energy at the moment because I just did not eat enough, and I know it, and I screwed it up. So this whole day, I've just been tired. But training yesterday was huge. Great bike session. You had that same one, so I know it was pretty strong, pretty good under-over session. You just had to grind and grit through. But yeah, overall, man, we're going to be fine. I'm great. It's going to be awesome. Just got to get stronger, and I will as long as I don't stop.
Just get the pint of the old ice cream every day after dinner.
Ooh, wait a minute, boys. I got to ask you about this new product, not the ice cream even. You could put this on ice cream. Have you ever had pistachio butter?
No.
Okay. If you ever have an opportunity to see a green little buttery thing at the Frilly store, I'm sure, because that doesn't happen at No Frills.
$37 a pound.
I don't know how much it was. Amy got it as a treat. I think it was at Costco. But, man, I put it on a waffle last night just because I was like, forgot about that we had it. Oh, I put it in my granola this morning. I think I'm going to sprinkle it on everything.
It sounds unreal.
15 grams of sugar per 2 tablespoons. She's just ripping in calories.
Yeah, that's what you need. The calories, man, I swear, I've said this a bajillion times, but as much as you can fuel, you can train. Like, since I've gotten better on this parasite and been able to eat normal, I feel so good. I've been training huge volume. I did 29 hours last week. And like every workout, I feel good. I can you just smash the calorie. Like I promise you, it sounds so stupid, but before your next bike workout, treat it the day before. Treat it like that bike workout is going to be a race, and just freaking slam rice, slam everything. And I guarantee the workout, you'll be like, oh, my legs are... I mean, maybe not. Like, it takes time, but I've been trying to think that way and be more professional on, like, I feel like on my recovery days, I used to often kind of just, I'd be like, oh, it's a recovery day. I'm only training 1 or 2 hours. I don't need to worry about like carb loading or anything, but really you're just catching back up. And then if you want to actually recover and get the benefit out of the recovery day, you need a calorie surplus that day. So I've been trying to do that better, and then I've just been feeling great. And all of a sudden I've really turned it around. And that's, I think, obviously being able to eat is a massive part of that. And when I couldn't eat, I felt like shit.
Next week, we'll see. Because don't get me wrong, I eat a lot, but it's hard to eat a lot during all the calls. Like today I had a bunch of calls and random appointments, so I just like didn't have my normal at home eggs and toast and everything. I just had to random scrap things together, and I had like 3 little cream center cookies before I went and swam, and like had fuck all, so it just wasn't really ideal. But I'll check in next week. I will absolutely crush all of the food that I can between now and then, and we'll see what happens. We'll give it their experiment.
Yep. I want to see it. And yeah, I think you're going to get back to those numbers, man. When you're doing those freaking over-unders on that Zwift race league we did, that was savage.
We're going to do it again. Yeah, training volume. That's a good, segue into the topic of today with training volume when it starts to change, because we're about to hit like preseason to pre-competition type stuff within these last 6 weeks before you got Little Elm, you got Oceanside, you got Texas, and then beyond there's some more races. So it's just time. It's time to start thinking about suffering, putting yourself into the well, pulling yourself out of the well, and then getting those last sessions to where you know the body's going to be plump with vigor and muscle.
Yeah. Yeah, and even if people are kind of, a lot of people in Canada start their season in like June. Well, you still need to be starting to train pretty solid in February. So,
really, June?
Yeah, because Canada, the races don't.
Oh yeah,
people will usually do a run race a lot of the time. They'll do like a lot of people do a 5K or they'll do a 10K or around the bay or like a half marathon or something in the spring.
We used to have a duathlon season where it was like April into May. But
Florida used to have that too.
Completely
it's
gone
gone
away.
Yeah, it's gone. But in any case, so I wanted to quickly hit on one thing with training volume. So if you've got like peak races in, let's say most people have like a peak race in September or October, what kind of volume percentages do you think you should be doing in February? Like if let's say they're peaking out at, an age group athlete maybe is going to hit like 16 hours or something or to 20
That's
hours maybe for like the peak race before like a Kona or something.
Okay.
What do you think they're going to hit in February? Like, should you be just kind of keeping it together, or do you think you should be pushing to get up like 12, 14 hours?
What would Lionel do?
Who knows? It depends on the day. Depends on what he's feeling like at the moment. But like, I don't know. I kind of feel like if you look at what the top pros are doing, obviously not everybody can do that. But like, they're training at a pretty high level now. They're not that much below what they're going to be doing before their big races later in the year. Do you think that's like a concept that everyone can follow, or do you think most people should have a bigger cycle of more lower now and just kind of starting to build up and then bigger peaks before like big race season?
I think it just depends on the athlete's like pedigree, how long they've been at it, what their cycles have been like, if they've taken a longer off season, if they have been stressed, if they've been sick like everyone. All these things factor into it. So, but I'd say right now, I think I've got about 28 athletes on the old roster, and most everybody is getting into a phase where we're starting to add a lot more mental toughness workouts where they've built some fatigue up. We're asking them to do some 5x100 time trials in the pool, some 500-meter time trials on other days, trying to do some VO2 stuff. Any stuff we're doing too, like under overs on the bike to really see below or sub threshold and over threshold to see how the body and mind respond to that. If the heart rate's starting to get jacked up really high. So all of these things play into a factor of the continuation of this. And if you have to pull back or if you're not ready, but I think now is a good time to see a little bit what you're made of, because you don't want the last 4 weeks of your race or your race prep to be where you're starting to push those things for the first time. You want to start that a little bit now so you can start to get familiar with how deep you need to go to get the gains that are required for those PRs.
So you think leaning into like hard work now and then just like testing yourself and then later more specific work towards the race?
Yeah, I always like to just
really hard work.
I like to simplify it by just saying like go stronger and then start to go longer, because then you can build that threshold nice and high. Then you can start to extend it. And then obviously with food, rest, and increasing that, your capacity to handle the metabolic load of all of it over time, then you'll start to be able to extend those efforts and feel more confident. Uh-oh, what do you think?
Oh, I was muted, was I?
You were. Now you're back. We got you back. That was a whole 10-second delay, but my gosh. Don't unsubscribe, folks.
You're muted because you were eating.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree with that. I think you got to start working hard now, and then as we're mostly long course athletes, you build that into longer stuff later on when the Ironmans come and when the specific races come. Garrick, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think a big thing. So, like Nick said, it really depends on the athlete. If this is an athlete gearing up for Kona, they're probably a high level athlete, even if in the age group racing. So I think we've probably already had a discussion at the end of last year identifying weaknesses and trouble areas, and that could be something that we're targeting at this time of year. It doesn't necessarily have to be big volume, but I don't think we're in like a low volume training phase right now, especially if it's an athlete like that.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so then let's go to intensity. We just touched on it. And like, let's say, an average person had a pretty low training volume and everything in December. They've used January to kind of ramp back up, and now they're sort of into a spot where they're doing intervals. They're ready for hard training. How much, like, do you guys think ideally for like most people, how many actual hard sessions per week, like, do people want to be hitting? Because I mean, some people are doing their own training or just trying to figure it out. Do you think that sweet spot is like 2 hard bikes, 1 run for most people, 1 hard run workout, and then maybe a long run, and then for the swim, maybe 2 to 3 harder sessions, and that's kind of like the baseline that most people need to try to hit? What are your thoughts?
I like to use the swim this time of year to start to ramp up a lot of that intensity where the body doesn't get as much pounding. Hopefully the shoulders and the strength training in off season can support all that. But the core work, the core has to be like everything torso related, hips, shoulders, that's going to be carrying all of that intensity and bashing throughout the season. So you got to make sure that that's good. And then I like to do a couple of hard runs during the week for sure. One that is more like progressive as we start to ramp up. I do love 800s, 400s, track sessions, ladders type stuff. And then I like running a little bit hard at the end of a longer run, like strides. So I think now is prime like stride season, not putting too much load so you stress fracture and hurt yourself, but like enough to start to get the body ready for it. And then for sure, I like doing 2 savage bike sessions a week. So yeah, I think you're right on point, but for sure using the swim as a point of, man, suffer there a little bit first and then start to transition.
Yeah.
What do you boys think?
The swim you can definitely do more, I think, just in terms of pounding. And like you said, you can thrash yourself there and it's low injury risk, great aerobic training. It'll translate over. And for the run, it really depends on the person. Like ideally, some people can handle 2 good hard workouts a week. That's great. But I think most are probably in the 1 to 1.5 range on that.
I couldn't agree more. I think the one big thing inexperienced coaches do is that they give their athletes too much hard work. So like Nick was saying, like working on strides, working on efficiency, but then like Jack said, one of your hard runs is a longer run, and maybe you run hard at the end of that run, but the whole structure of it isn't like a hard workout, right? Maybe you're doing 1 hard run a week, 2 hard rides. You're not going to go wrong with that. I think most athletes probably swim 3 times a week. I don't even think you need to push 3 hard swims a week. If
that makes sense.
Like down there, you can work on technique if you're only swimming 3 times a week. But like you said, it's low risk swimming hard, right? But whatever's going to make the athlete consistent, especially at this time of year. I think we can't undervalue the benefit of just aerobic training consistently.
You know what sucks for you guys is Canada's pool on, Ontario side. They just can't keep the pool. Like in the USA, I'm not saying we're better. I'm just saying like if the pool's open, there's a lifeguard there at all times. But it seems like in Canada, they have only time slots where they'll hire lifeguards only for times that have people. So like if a time slot is yours and you just go there and you're the only one there, let's say that happens for a while, eventually they might cut that because they didn't have enough people coming in. It seems like that happens a lot in Canada.
Yeah, they're just low.
I feel like
I don't know why it is.
Because in Windsor, we're not like that. Our pool is open. It opens at 6 a.m., closes at 9 p.m.
That's
so it's
awesome.
open all day.
There's very few of those, I think, in Ontario. I think there might be one similar to that in London. There's one in Ottawa. Like, there's a few around, but most cities, you've got like a lot of 1 hour slots, the odd 1.5 to 2 hour slot. If you're lucky,
do you
might
still have to
hit
sign
3.
up for your swims?
No, it depends where you are, actually. Like some pools, they like count the people coming in, and then they're like, oh, there's too many and whatever. But the situation I have now is solid. University pool at Laurier. Not super long slots or 1.5 to 2 hours, but I'm making the most of it and getting everything I need out of it. But definitely, you're right. In general, it's harder to find pools that are just open when you need them, which can be very frustrating for sure.
I think the better the pool, so the more money the municipality spent into the pool, the more hours it's open. Like I said, like the one in Windsor, they built that for the World Short Course Champs, and like I said, it's open all the time, but it's one of those like beautiful pools. It's 50 meters. It's got a big tank, diving, all that stuff. And I know it was like that in Edmonton too. They had a bunch of pools that were just open all day. Yeah.
That would be nice.
Sweet.
Well, we can dream about it. But on the swim, I was thinking about this as I'm like kind of heading into getting close to crunch time for Oceanside, like where I'm starting to think about, okay, we got a few hard weeks of training left. Then we're thinking about, am I going to be ready with the wetsuit? I got to do a couple wetsuit swims. I got to do maybe a couple bricks. But for the swim, like when you don't have open water and you're going to a race in March in somewhere else that obviously you're all of a sudden going to be open water, do you guys think like, yeah, throw that wetsuit on for a workout or two and like try to get, like I'm going to see if I can get some of my training buddies to be like, hey boys, let's do these 50s 3 abreast in this lane and just freaking swim them. And I've got to be ready for that because that's, Oceanside's going to be a savage start. And like, you can't just be like, oh, I haven't swam near someone in 6 months and I'm just going to be really tentative now.
Yeah, great idea. We just did that at swim school. I just threw a bunch of people in the lane and did that. So if you can, in the pool, do it, but don't do it for the whole swim. Just do your warm up and some of your main set, and then take that baby off real quick and rinse it out real good because chlorine will destroy some neoprene if it just sits in there. But that's a great way to do it, Jack. I can't think of any other practice besides like diving off a block, some really, some team relay type stuff, in creating some high stress environments in the pool. Like one of my favorite VO2 swim workouts in the pool is so super crazy. It's like 3 or 4 rounds of this, and it's like a couple 200s into a 400 into a 600, and it's all broken up as 25s and 50s, and they're all staggered, and you go VO2 or really, really hard as you can hold on every single one of them, and the only rest you get is between the 20s and the 25s. You get 2 seconds. You touch the wall, take 2 breaths, and go. On the 50s, you get 5 seconds. So it's all staggered, and it's all hard, and it just keeps the pressure on the whole time. And you do get some breaks to collect yourself till you're not like totally lactic and destroyed, but that type of pressure happens within that first 500 meters of the swim. You got to correct. You don't have time to think. And I think it's really helpful to start to recreate those stressful environments in the pool and training.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be ready for that because there's nothing like, being able, you don't have a chance to collect yourself in a race. So obviously it's a little different on the pro level sometimes where you're starting in mass starts versus time trial starts, but like you get jostled or thrown off or your sighting goes bad for a second, you got to refocus immediately because, yeah, it's... Well,
age group athletes especially practice getting touched in the water. I mean, as real as that is, like most people, if they're so apprehensive, they get touched in the water, they sit straight up. It's jarring and it can throw off your rhythm. And the other thing is sighting. You need to practice sighting in the pool. Like find something on the wall that you're sighting at, find something on the horizon. That's a big problem within swimmers in triathlon is like, you could be a great swimmer, but you're zigging and zagging and you're not going straight and you're all that time is getting wasted. So you can practice sighting in the pool.
Yeah.
I think the best thing you can do, so go to the pool at the busiest swim time. Look at the direction that everyone's swimming in circles.
Swim opposite.
Get in, swim the opposite direction. And don't let people bully you.
This is only Garrick's specific recommendation. This is not the recommendation of Real Triathlon Podcast and associated vendors or our partners.
But just make sure you're not wearing an RTS cap when you do that.
Yeah.
Oh my
full face
gosh.
mask.
You want to be wearing the swim cap from your most recent Ironman.
No, you have to put on your AWA gold. You can get away with anything with that thing.
Yeah, all-world athlete. So yeah, transitioning that into the bike. So most people, lots of bike, trainer stuff. Obviously from Canada, you know, I'm gonna be going to Oceanside. I might have 0 bikes outside before that race.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna hope to look for a day where we get like a nice 10-degree day in March, and do a workout outside or something. But it can be tough. But if you don't have the ability to get outside before a race like that, what can you do to be kind of ready? Like, obviously, you got to be disciplined with holding your aero position and getting to the race, for me, a few days before, so I can get outside, get the feel for the race speed, get the feel for the handling, everything like that. Luckily, Oceanside's not a technical course, really. But
Oh,
yeah.
it is if you want to avoid potholes, though. That damn freaking roads they got there. I hope they did some new ones.
It's getting worse out there. But yeah, that's not ideal. I guess we'll see. I mean, I've done it before. Every time I've done it, it's been fine. So I'm not going to try to worry about it too much.
No, you'll be fine. Just the speed zone. If we have DQs on the speed zone that get reinitiated again, like I think I'm going to throw something at the refs. Probably a stale carton of milk, just to like. I hate it. Every year there's like people who blatantly overreach on their speed parameters, and we can see like some people during the race have been like, I could tell they didn't even try to slow down. They just kind of like sent it, and then they protest it. And if they got a big enough name and they got enough likability behind them, people are like, well, yeah, that's fine. We can just let them have it this time. We don't want to penalize them. Like, I want them to stick to the rules at Oceanside on the speed trap, please.
Yeah,
But I know it's a safety thing, but like it's a pro race. I feel like the pros should be, if they want to die, you know, like it's up to them to commit.
It doesn't look good on the race though, no matter what. Even if they want to, it doesn't.
At least they give us a higher speed. They give us a 35 instead of 25 or something like that.
It's pretty quick. I mean, it's not like you do have to hit the brakes though.
Yeah, for sure. So I was thinking about this the other day. What do you like when you haven't raced for a while? How much of a brick involvement do you need in your training in the last couple weeks? Like I generally don't like bricks. I tend to just think it reduces the amount of quality training you can get in terms of like hard bricks, like using a hard bike run workout and a hard run workout at once. You just end up getting a less hard bike and a less hard run. But when you haven't raced for a while, like you kind of got to do it. So I'm thinking, should I do one like 10 days out, or should I like commit to doing 2? I don't know what's the sweet spot there. I'm leaning towards just 1, and then making sure on some of my easier stuff, I'm jumping straight off the bike and running easy. Even if I just run like a minute or 2 at like a bit of a pace to get used to that feeling. But I don't know. Should I like sacrifice a bit more of the quality and do like 2 bricks just to like be ready for it? What do you do, Nick? How many are you going to do?
Well, I always think about this too in this entire bullshit life that we live, that is like, how many times do we need to swim, bike, run before we know that we can swim, bike, run? Like even the day before a race, we're like, what are you going to do? I don't know. Probably swim, bike, run. So I think like we've done enough races. We know how to run off the bike. And after that first little Band-Aid pull off of the year, when you have to do a few of them and you haven't done them in a while, all you're doing is just trying to remind yourself of the sequence and that your legs are going to feel this certain way. So there's 2 things I like to do as we move into this period of time. I do like the idea for sure, like some easy, low pressure 15-minute jogs off of a hard bike. Not to do anything special, not even to take away quality from the next day's run, just to feel how it is when your legs are a bit cranked and you just have to jog a little bit. So like 2 of those a week, even if it's 10 minutes, that's great. And then as we get closer, like on long rides on the weekends, every hour I like to do 15 minutes additional to a run off the bike if we're going to start to do bricks. So like if you do 3 hours, the maximum I'll do is like 45 minutes off the bike for athletes who typically can't do a lot of that stuff during the race or during the week. But I'd say my favorite thing is to do like a 2-hour build bike on the road, and I'll do it like an hour chill, 20 minutes race effort, 10 minutes cool down, whatever it is. It add up to an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then go straight to the track and do 800s on the track that are quality. And then I'll do 2.5 hours the next time, and I'll do less 800s. And so I just kind of like build that frequency in to where you can run quality off a moderate bike, because then you're running when your legs aren't screwed and you're still getting the quality and you're getting the repeatability. Like you do like 10 to 12, even to 16 800s off the bike on 4 minutes is just like such a gem routine, because you can get plenty of rest and you rode beforehand. Anyways, that's my favorite progression to do leading into a couple races. I only do that 3 times in the final 3 weeks. Everything else is just 15-minuters, nothing ever really super sendy beyond that.
Interesting. So
that was a lot of rambling, but
your main bricks are like a medium bike that's not really that hard, and then a hard run.
Yeah, because I think like, and to your point, like I don't want to sacrifice a quality run because I've just smashed myself on the bike. Like the bike is going to take care of itself. Like by now we bike so much and we're so strong at the bike, we put all of our weight there, but running at that long durability rate with brakes is what I need personally to make sure that I have that over 10K strength on the run. So I think that the 800s, or even if you do less and then build to 800s, like it gives you that muscular endurance over time, rather than just like, well, I ran an hour off the bike at race effort every week and I didn't really get any faster because I was always tired and fatigued, and I just broke down more and it didn't have much quality. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah,
Eric?
like that.
I don't have really much more to add to that. I would say, yeah, I mean, I do a lot of brick runs just because of time. It's just easier to, like after work, you know, you do 2-hour bike and like a 20-minute run, 30-minute run. It just helps you get your frequency up.
Yeah.
But if you want to get that race feel, you probably just need to do a K at race pace right off the bike, and you'll get a feel for it. You'll, like Nick said, you'll remind yourself how to do it, and that's probably fine.
Yeah.
It's really like the form and the nutrition are what really screw you at the back end of a race, of a run. And so if you can practice that with a good bit of volume before you hit your run, you've already got some nutritional metabolic, deficit. You're going to be fueling during those hard runs, and you're going to know how your gut's going to tolerate. So you can test nutrition, you can see how your body breaks down, and you can do it with all in a controlled environment with specific pacing.
Yeah, I found it interesting. There's like a huge mix of what like top pros do for bricks. Like the Norwegians were doing a brick hard every week. They're doing a hard bike, like 2.5 hours with a lot of it like at race intensity, like hard, almost threshold effort. And then quick transition, like just get some calories, 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever. And then rip a hard run workout with a bunch of threshold. And they do that. I'm pretty sure I don't know if they do that year round, but they do it a lot. It's like consistent part of their schedule. I found that I never felt good on that brick really on the bike or run. Like it's a lot to do all at once. It's just an interesting strategy. But it works for them. But then there's a lot, and then there's some who I pretty much never do bricks. Like I said, I'll do like one before a race, like 10 days out if I haven't raced in a long time, which I'll probably do this time. It's like an interval brick, and it's like a big session, but it's kind of at the right timing where you don't necessarily need to maximize every little piece of training the next few days after that, because you're starting to taper down a bit, so timing's okay. But yeah, that one's really personal, and some people feel like they need a lot of runs off the bike, and for them maybe doing a bit more is good. But
let's be real. Most of the Norwegians, I think they do that because it's like such a confidence, like they just know how they're going to feel off the bike every single time. They know what they can do. There's no guesswork, and it doesn't seem to work for all of them, but it does seem to have some merit. And then the other side of that, like waiting until ignorance is bliss. Like Jackson, you know how fast you can run on your Ks on the track. Like you've put it all together. And so it's not like a mystery to you, but when you get on the race day, you're like, oh yeah, there it is. I've been doing this repeats over and over. So I think they both like, it is whatever you think it is. I really think that's the biggest part of it.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
But at the high level, though, let's just say everyone's carrying a lot of the same traits. They are riding a lot at threshold and over threshold to build that sustainability, and they're also doing that on the run. So, like, those things are always constant. And what do you think the ratio is of your zone 2, because that's still a big topic, and zone 2 obviously has expanded into this really wide range now to where, like, zone 3 is almost like race pace, and zone 4 is like hyper race pace. Like it's like zone 3 and zone 4 are where you race, and zone 2 is where you do everything else. It seems like those have kind of just been quantified that way for a 3-zone type of thing. Like what ratio are you spending in that zone 2 hypothetically now?
I've kind of backed away a little bit from the zone 2. Like I'll still do a fair bit. Like I did today on my moderate bike. I did like 50 minutes zone 2-ish. Yesterday in the workout, we had some steady. Like steady might be right at the top end of that zone 2. So I'm probably doing a few hours a week in that range, but then I'm doing probably like maybe I'm doing 3 to 4 in zone 2, and I'm doing like, I don't know, a couple hours worth roughly, or it depends on the week, but between 1 to 2 of just hard work, like VO2 to threshold. And then the rest is just zone 1. But yeah, the VO2 and threshold I think is so much more important than zone 2. Like zone 2, I don't really care if you go zone 2 or zone 1. If you can nail, this is in my mind, if I can like nail the workouts, sure, then like add some zone 2. It's like a little bit better than zone 1, but I don't think it really matters that much. Obviously, it changes for people who have less hours to work with. Maybe you want to do more zone 2 and not so much zone 1. But yeah, I'd still do it though. I like to do it and make sure I'm not just like totally soft pedaling on my easy spins to, not really get much out of them. Yeah. But yeah, the key is, like you said, all that threshold and that VO2 above threshold. Like you just have to do it. Like there's no way around it. I've never seen any like of this, like, oh, I'll work up from the bottom and build my endurance and then my threshold will go way up. Like I've just never really seen
it happen either. Like it's been so annoying to see like all this, I guess marketing about like, well, if you just train it like that high end zone 2 aerobic, like, and then you on race day, you'll be able to tap into that threshold and be fine. Like that has never happened in any athlete I've ever seen train. I've put through it, nor myself. And so I've like gone back to, yeah, you've got to do mental toughness, really hard thrash sessions at least a couple times a week, and the rest of it you can do it zone 2, but you can't negate sub threshold and VO2. You can't.
No, you can't. It's just savage.
Garrick?
And it's tough. What do you think, Gerald?
Yeah, you can't only train zone 2 and think that it's going to push up your threshold. I think for me, the big thing that I noticed when I started training like that upper zone 2, like Ironman pace, like kind of that 75-80% FTP stuff, doing like more of those, like 45-minute, 1 hour intervals, 2, 3, 4 of them, is I did find that my durability on the bike increased. But what it did is it allowed me to do more hard work on top of that, right? Like I was still doing that VO2 work, threshold work, all that kind of stuff. And it just allowed me to come off the bike fresher.
Yeah.
So
the reason
that's where I saw it.
It was just a distraction. It was just a way to make everybody else go slower so they could go faster.
Yeah. Like you can't just sit in zone 2 all day and train.
Well, you know what's really weird right now with my metabolism is like I can ride at like 260 to 280 watts and be like 125 beats per minute. I can run like 6-minute pace at 140 beats per minute or less. Like my heart rate is so low right now that it's frustrating, because when I have to start cranking it up and I see those like 145s to 155s, sometimes it feels too savage. And so that to me is like, all right, now we need to hit those VO2 sessions. We need to get more tolerance on that top end. We need to extend or lift that ceiling higher, because I'm really aerobic and I'm super strong metabolically at that level. But once I start to hit that tipping point, it's exponential way too fast. So I think that's really my biggest problem as I get to Oceanside in Texas, is making sure that my body is strong enough not to just feel way overworked when I have to go to like 350 to 370 for efforts.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this because we chatted about this, and I'm just wondering if there's something if there's something like hormonal or energy balance that's contributing to that. Because the only thing I can relate to in myself is when I did kind of like overtrain or under recover or whatever, and I got low T for like a couple times back in 2019. It's kind of what it felt like. Like it was like, oh, I can cruise at 300 watts, 280s, whatever, no problem. It's not hard. And then as soon as I was even getting close to threshold, it was just like alarm bells in my head, like, you can't do this, like, do not do this, like, this is too hard. And then I was just like feeling terrible and horrible about myself. And the heart rate it's not like the heart rate was going crazy. It sounded almost the same as what you're saying.
It's hard to get it up.
Yeah, your body will not will not allow your heart rate to get up.
If you're training too much, both things might be a little.
Yeah, I mean, let's
true.
be honest. Fatigue is a factor here for me. Fatigue is a factor. I don't probably get enough rest. I probably haven't been getting enough calories, and I've been using Fuel In to make sure I got more now. So I'm taking 10 to 15 grams of creatine a day, almost going to start to go to 20. I've been upping the protein a lot. I've been starting to take all the omegas, like all the Pillar Performance stuff that they've been throwing at us, and it's actually like helped a lot. But I think that's really the caveat, is like I probably was a little bit depleted, and just like you said, Jack, I was not able to do it. So that's like, if you're feeling that way, you got to boost either rest or you got to boost your calories, like probably both.
I think it's both, and I think calories is probably the biggest. Like, you and I have done a lot of bike workouts together over the years, and we have a very similar heart rate profiles, I would say. And in that workout, like the over-unders, I was getting into the 160 to low 160s range towards the end on the overs. And I was just, it's not that I'm fitter than you, it's that I'm just pushing myself harder.
Yeah, you were able to tap in that extra little gear of power.
Which is, 10, 15 beats a minute. That's probably the difference in power. Like, if I kept my heart rate at the same yours was, my power would have probably been the same, or maybe very slightly higher, but not much.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you will. I think you're on the track, and just don't be afraid to do some savage, that's the one thing with all the like nutrition advice from nutritionists and stuff that I think sometimes gets missed, is like the level you got to push yourself on calories. You're going to just have to do some dirty eating. Like, it's not always going to be nice lean chicken and rice. Like, sometimes you got to throw a banana cream pie in there,
or some pistachio butter on 2 waffles in a sandwich.
Yeah, for dessert. And then the other day, okay, I got to tell you this. Yesterday, had a hard savage training day, and I knew I had a savage day today, and I'm like, I cannot get behind today. So I did what was yesterday? Hard bike workout in the morning. I did 3 hours 15, whatever, those over-unders we talked about. And then I went to the pool and did an easy swim. And then I had like a break where I was doing the podcast. And right after the swim, I went to Tim Hortons, I had a protein shake and a granola bar and a gel and whatever, and I was already starting to recover. I went straight to Tim Hortons, got a turkey bacon club, chocolate hazelnut filled muffin, an apple fritter, cinnamon raisin bagel toasted with butter, and a large chocolate milk. And I just slammed it all. It was over 2,000 calories at once. And then I went and did the podcast, and then I had some more, and then I ran. Like, you got to do, like, literally, this is what I mean. If you can do that, then today I trained over 6 hours. I felt great. Like, it's just, you can do it. It's just, you got to do some dirty things.
Yep. I got a crammer in there. You're right. I try. Like, at night, after about 7 o'clock after dinner, I'm eating chocolate. I'm eating everything. I mean, I'm hammering the food at night, but it's just not enough during the day. I got to get more.
Garrick, what do you think?
It should be easy to eat enough calories. Like, what should be difficult is not eating, or is not eating too much, is what should be difficult. I don't care if you're burning 6,000 calories a day. Like, you should be easily able to eat 6,000 calories.
Yeah.
Garrick I will attest. I lived with Garrick, trained with him a lot of times, and the man can pound in one meal. Like, not a lot of guys can keep up with Garrick on the catching up on the cows.
That's something that happens in old age. I'm about to be 40, and like I eat 2 tacos, and I'm like, all right, I'm good. Or I have 1 burger and some fries, I'm all right. Like, it's hard for me to just get the giant all savage meal at once. I got to spread it out a little bit.
See, it's funny. I've been using the Fuelin app too, but for the opposite reason, trying to get my weight down. And it's like, you're like, oh, okay, I'm already eating 3,000 calories today. Take a step back.
I haven't been keeping track, but also I will say with coming back from this parasite, I think my body knows it's just trying to still replenish. Like, I'm still a little on the lighter side, and I'm a little super aware of it, but yeah, eating stuff's all very personal. And obviously most people, when you're training a normal amount, like a 10-hour a week age group training, you don't need to go to Tim Hortons and eat 2,000 calories all at once or more.
Yeah.
And by the way, all that food I just mentioned was $12.75.
That is amazing. That would be like $30.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So
Yeah,
US dollars would be like $8.
Yeah,
it was,
the one
it was
thing,
nuts.
like, Canadian Tim Hortons is far superior in price and quality than the Tim Hortons in the U.S.
I actually can't think of a better value and like quality and actual like relatively healthy, if you want it to be, place fast food in America that competes with Tim Hortons.
Well,
Like,
Costco food court,
the
IKEA
healthy
food court
aspect
too.
of that.
IKEA food court.
But that doesn't count because they're losing money on it to get you to pay. Like, it's not a drive-through, everywhere at every street corner place. But anyways,
Let's
I think we
pass or
should get into our
smash.
segment.
Is that pass or smash?
Pass or smash, pass or smash. Tell me now, don't make it last. Pass or smash, pass or smash. This moment's gone, so make it fast.
Garrick, your vocals are getting better every week.
Thank you, sir. I mean, I know my voice. I've been staying out of the conversation because it's hard for me to talk, but. Yeah,
All right, you can read them off then. You can give us the topics.
All right, boys. Pass or smash. This looks like Jack did all of these today, so.
I didn't do any of these.
Oh.
Ooh.
3 protein shakes in a day. Pass or smash.
Smash. That's like my average day.
That's so many protein shakes, though. I have to pass. I can't. It's like I would rather have food.
I think I usually get to 2. Like, I do a protein shake and a bone broth, so I'm going to pass.
Ooh, okay. Dirty.
All right. Wired headphones. Nick.
I'm gonna smash those because I don't want that EMF between my brain.
Smash. Same thing. And you don't have to
What if-
charge the damn things.
Yep.
What if you just use 1? Like, you never have 2.
Still, that frequency of 1, they've done like testing on it. It's just like
Yeah.
it just goes radioactive.
Oof. But the creatine's good for your brain, so it counteracts it.
Yeah, it creates a barrier.
All right, leftovers.
Smash.
Yeah, that's
Some
the
people-
best.
They're there. Heck yeah.
Some people don't eat them, man. Some people like don't eat left. I mean, I will honestly say I have a hard time eating leftovers because I'm never home for lunch usually. And then like dinner comes around, we're like, what are we making for dinner? And instead of being like, well, we got a whole meal from yesterday, we just make a new dinner. So like sometimes we screw it up. But I love smashing it.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing is when you're like, oh, I got to cook something. And you're like, wait, I have leftovers. Smash.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
best.
I will say, so not leftovers, but my wife, so I've been, obviously we're pregnant, so I've been adding the pregnancy weight.
She's pregnant, Garrick. You are not. Don't even say we're.
I don't know. I got same belly that she's got.
Okay.
She doesn't have belly. That's a joke.
Don't say that. She's glowing.
But she's been prepping fruit and putting it like in jars and stuff. So every night I'll go and I'll clean off the whole thing that she prepped usually because, trying to lose weight. And so I'm not eating anything too calorically dense. And she gets mad at me, but then if I don't finish it and it goes bad, I also get in trouble.
Yep.
She's like, so there's no winning because she doesn't eat it. And then it goes bad. But then if I eat it, she can't eat it because it's gone. So
She just wanted to have the option of being able to eat it if she wanted to.
yeah, exactly. So can't win either way.
Let me tell you the one thing that my wife does that I think I might have to end it if this doesn't go away. She will take, like, let's say we got 4 chicken breasts in a package that we have to open for dinner. She will cook 2 of those chicken breasts and then put the other chicken breasts that are raw still in another bag and put it back in the refrigerator in hopes of cooking that we've never used. It's been thrown away every single time. I don't get it. I even tell her, I'm like, at least I don't have a problem throwing away food that we've cooked because at least it was cooked and it had potential of being eaten. If I have to throw away raw food that you decided not to cook when you could have cooked it, you've just double screwed us over, and I want a divorce.
So Morgan does
After he
this
just
too,
said that he never eats leftovers.
Yeah. But Morgan does this too, but she buys the mixed greens, and it's like, okay, we eat HelloFresh 3 or 4 times a week. Like, we get the HelloFresh stuff, so we don't need the salad. Like, we don't prepare a salad on top of that, so we use it like once a week, and then it goes bad every week because we've only used it like once or twice.
Those mixed green things never get eaten fully.
They're designed to go bad after day 1.
It's just like, come on.
Just sell it to them.
But
all right.
she knows it, but she keeps buying it, so,
All right, let's go to the next one.
Handstands.
It's my goal for the year. Smash them.
I used to be able to do handstands and all the time and stuff, but then since my shoulder was messed up, I haven't done it. So I guess pass. Well, maybe I'll try it again someday. Who knows?
I can do a cartwheel.
Fish smash.
Doesn't count.
Can't do a handstand unless you're against the wall. Okay. Getting gas anytime you hit half of a tank.
Smash. Who waits until it's on E?
Pass. I wait not till. Yeah, I wait. But I heard today from an Instagram reel that mechanics said that you should never let it go below a quarter tank because your fuel pump sits in the gas and then it needs the
picks
gas
up all the
to cool
sediment.
it. And so if you have less than a quarter tank, it overheats.
Not necessarily, but it
aren't they
also
electric
like
now?
yeah. I mean, that's probably super old school. But honestly, like let's say
It was probably current when it was on TikTok, but once it made it to Instagram Reels.
yeah. Well, think about this. Let's say you go to bed and you're on E and I'm gonna get gas in the morning, but the world has ended. Okay. And everyone's like trying to get gas and you can't get gas because you just were lazy and you didn't fill it up when you had a chance. What are you going to do? Huh?
I never leave it to the morning. If it's getting low, I always do it the night before.
But if you fill it up at a half tank, you'll always be good.
Okay.
Ish.
Yeah.
I think it's true. Smash. If I'm
Okay.
below half a tank and I got a chance to fill up, I just fill up.
Smart.
Smash. All right.
Jet skis. Oh man, those are
Jet
fun.
skis.
Pass.
But
They're
you're talking
fun,
about
but
like
also
proper,
they're only fun
proper
if you're
proper
driving.
jet ski.
Sea-Doos or
when you're,
jet
like,
skis. I don't care. Get rid of
Okay.
them. Get them out of here.
ones. Yeah. We were just talking about this the other day. I was like, I've been on a few jet skis. I don't think they're that fun.
They're fun until you're 20, and then they just cause dilemmas for the rest of the world to deal with while you're having fun.
Overall, I'm gonna say pass. They're not as fun as they are annoying when you're not the driver.
Yeah, because you've ever been like nice and enjoying a lake and it's chill, and all of a sudden these, it's all you hear in the background is the throttle of a jet ski for the 3 hours while they're doing donuts and hitting each other's wakes and having a smash fest. Stupid,
Gosh darn kids.
damn kids.
All right, so we all pass on that. Oh God, flying with 3 connections to save money.
Huh?
How much money are we talking?
We're talking about
3
saving like
connections.
$1,000.
Are we talking about 3 flights or 3 connections? Because that's
3
4 flights.
like a one single leg that's going to take you to where you got to go that has 3 connections.
3 connections. I've
So it's
passed
4
that.
flights. You're-
But it'll save you $1,000.
$1,000 is a lot of money.
I won't miss the $1,000.
Yeah, I still pass on
That's
that hard.
borderline on that. It depends. If
Honestly,
it's
yeah.
What if it's on the way
$1,000
home
is
from a race?
Definitely, but like,
I feel like
$1,000
everyone,
is-
every like aspiring pro triathlete in their first like season of doing ITU races has saved like $30 to get 2 connections one time and thought that it was going to save the money.
Then
And
the
then they
bike didn't
realized,
show
wait a
up.
minute, this is terrible.
Okay, that was a good season. Good segment. We did it well.
All right. So we're gonna do this segment real quick here because we've been teasing this segment forever. We're not gonna play the song. We'll introduce that next week. But it's called "What Spins My Crank." Okay. We haven't done this.
Jackson does.
All right. I knew that was.
Wait,
what
do we not have
was
a
coming.
do we not have a jingle for it?
We do.
We do, but it's not uploaded in here yet.
Oh,
So I'm gonna start off, and I found this a while ago. I've been following this quite closely. Valtteri Bottas, the Formula One driver, he has a YouTube channel. It's him and his manager Paul, and also his girlfriend, who actually rides for Canyon SRAM.
She's awesome.
She's pretty cool. But they have a YouTube channel. It's called What's Next. They've never explained the name of the podcast. Of the YouTube channel. There are 0 edits. They
Just
don't
raw?
edit this podcast. Yeah, it is just like the most like. There was one episode where the whole thing was they got kicked out of a restaurant because Paul was in Monaco because Paul was wearing running shoes, and they were gonna go buy new shoes, and then they decided not to, and then they tried to get a taxi, and then the whole episode was them trying to get a taxi in Monaco, and like calling the guy like where to sit.
how popular is this YouTube
It's
channel?
just so funny. It's not as popular as you'd think. It's about as popular as our podcast.
I mean, he's a Formula One driver, though. I mean, he's got a huge cred.
I know.
Yeah.
And it's him riding his bike a lot, so it's kind of triathlon-y.
Okay, I love him. I think he's a great personality for the sport of triathlon or for cycling and for Formula One. So I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Okay, we've been sitting on this topic for like 6 episodes, so I'm glad we finally talked about it.
All right. Ironman moving the coverage to YouTube. I know there's a whole more to this, but the fact that it's on YouTube, even if they don't change anything, the fact it's on YouTube is like, thank you, finally.
We did mention this last episode, and we were all stoked.
But like, I would set a VPN on my iPad just so I could watch it on YouTube instead of whatever outside TV.
Yeah.
All right, I got one here, boys. And I think everyone could relate to this at different times, but when you start hitting some good workouts finally after a long, shitty off season of being out of shape and feeling like you're never going to be back in shape because you know what? Honestly, as a pro who's been at it for a long time, when you hit these low points of out of shape, got sick a bunch, like we've all had the thought of like, fuck, am I ever going to get back? Like, should I just pack her in? Like, you have those little thoughts, not like serious, considerations, but
It's called the pity party.
across your minds. It's a pity party. And then when you finally keep grinding, keep working, you'll get better. Then eventually you start to see the results and it's worth it. And it happens to everybody. So if you're in that spot where you're in a low point, just keep on consistency, trying to be a little bit better every day, nailing your recovery, nailing your training, and you will get better, I promise.
Yeah. Once you start just building, just snowballs, and then you get some momentum. That's like the best feeling.
Well, that's kind of like
sure.
why
Until
triathlon
you
and
go
endurance
racing, get crushed.
sports are the best way to live. Because think about the complexities of life, the responsibilities you have, all the bullshit that happens all the time that you can't control. You can control everything that goes in and out of this sport. Your bike, your race, your schedule, your flights, the people you hang out with. You are even just as simple as waking up and training. That is all on you. It is the simplest way to make sure that you're in control of your own destiny. And when that shit finally comes together and you're climbing up a mountain at threshold and you feel like you could do it for about 7 hours straight, it's like the best feeling in the world. So yeah, that spins the shit out of my crank.
And with that, I think we are going to say peace.
Out. Like, subscribe, hang out later. Bye.
I got ish to do. Flying through the sky in my parachute. Dancing on the couch like I'm Tommy Cruise on a one-man mission trying to